Today on Arts for Life's virtual studio, we will be creating a tie-dyed bunting. Stay tuned and I'll let you know exactly what you need and walk you step by step. Let's get creating. My name is Betsey and I'm the Program Director with Arts for Life at Brenner Children's Hospital. Welcome to our virtual studio where we believe that art is for everyone. Today we will be making tie-dyed buntings, a bright and colorful piece of art that you can hang for a celebration or just for everyday fun. Here's an example of a bunting we'll be making. Yours will be much longer. I just had to fold it in half to fit it in the frame. Here are the materials that you will need. You will need coffee filters, 6 to 10 of them. And if you want to go really wild and make a long bunting, you can make it as long as you want. You might want 20 coffee filters, but definitely at least 6. Washable markers. It's really important that your markers are washable because if you use a permanent marker, when you spray water on it, the color won't spread and make that cool tie-dye effect. A spray bottle filled with water. Something to protect the surface that you're doing art on. I just use plain copy paper because what's really fun is at the end, you end up with some really cool patterns and we can use this paper for something else later on. But you can also use a plastic bag or a plastic tablecloth, anything you have that will protect the surface because the marker will go through and stain any surface that it touches. And of course, some yarn. You'll need about 36 inches of that or 3 feet, and a glue stick. Now that we have everything we need, let's get creating. I'm going to adjust the camera so I can show you how to start the project. See you soon. We will start by preparing our space to create. It's really important to cover your table with something protective. I'm working on the art table in my studio, which is already covered in art marks. But if I was at my dining room table, I would put a plastic tablecloth or bag on it, or even a cookie sheet. It also helps to have a sheet of printer paper or other white plain paper to put on top. And that way the coffee filters can dry on top. And then you end up with fun pattern paper we can use for something else later. So first thing we're gonna do, I'm gonna switch this over to where you just see the coffee filter now. We're gonna take a plain coffee filter and we're gonna fold it in half. And then I'm gonna set it back onto my white paper. Now we're gonna color in with lines and simple patterns. You do not have to fill the entire coffee filter with color. It's actually best if you have some white space because once we spray the water, it's going to allow the colors to spread out. So here are some examples of different ways that you can fill up your coffee filter. That one kind of looks like fish scales. This one is a whole bunch of circles, and then I even added some color on the edges. If you turn it this way, it's like a rainbow. Some simple lines and squiggle marks. More simple lines. And then just lines that are going straight up and down. It really does not matter what it looks like because once you spray it with water, it's all going to change, and that's the magic of it. Well, now is a really good time to pause the video while you finish coloring your coffee filters. Next, we're going to spread our colored coffee filters out on our paper and spray them with our water. It's really important that you keep some space between them so you don't want them right next to each other. I have a big sheet of paper, so I'm going to be able to get 4 pieces on it, but you might only be able to get 2 or 3. You might need several sheets of paper for this. So this is the fun part. We're gonna use our water bottle, and I have mine set so that it kind of sprays the water out evenly. Only 4 or 5 squirts are necessary. So I'm gonna count on this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. I feel like that might be enough. I might add one more over here just to make it press down. So that one had 5 squirts. That one had 4 squirts. 4 squirts on that one. Oh, that one had 5. So really 4 and 5 squirts is enough. And then you'll see that it's already starting to spread. It's so fun to watch. It's kind of like if you were to use watercolor paper and paint with watercolor on it, it spreads out if the paint is wet or the paper is wet. So then you'll move this one, you'll get another piece of paper and continue to spray all of yours until they're all wet. So here is the part where we're going to have to wait until the coffee filters dry. You can speed up the process by setting them out in the sun to dry. In the summer sun, they usually dry in about 15 minutes. It could take a few hours for them to dry completely in the house. I usually leave them on the paper for an hour, then move them to a clothesline. But they can also dry completely on the paper. So find your spot to dry them, and when the coffee filters are dry, you can unpause the video and finish making your bunting. Hooray! Our coffee filters are dry now. And we have some really cool patterns. Look at this fun stuff. Some of them look a little more tie-dyed than others. But now we're ready to choose the ones we're going to use and make a bunting to bring some bright and colorful joy to a room. You might want to hang this in your hospital room or in a bedroom, or you could even give it to a friend. All right, so the next step, we're going to tie a knot. We've got our string. We're just going to make a loop and tie a really simple knot. You can ask for help on this. Sometimes knots can be tricky. So you're going to tie a knot on there. You can cut that little tail off if you want, or you can leave it. And then about 2 to 3 inches from the edge, so about right here, is where we're going to put our first bunting flag. It's really simple. All we have to do is take a glue stick. We're going to move that yarn back a little bit. Take a glue stick and just put a strip of glue right along the fold on the inside. Then you're going to take your string and you're going to set it down, fold it over, and press. And once that's done, it's stuck on there. And then you're going to grab your next one, you're going to open it up and repeat that step. Add a strip of glue along the fold, about 2 to 3 inches between them, and fold it together and press. Continue doing this until all of your coffee filters are glued to the yarn. And then be sure to tie a knot at the other end of your yarn. You will keep going with as many filters as you have. All right, now that we're done with our bunting, I'm going to turn the camera back around. See you in a minute. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Arts for Life virtual studio. I hope that you enjoyed creating with me today. Here's my finished tie-dyed bunting. Yours may look a little different. However yours looks, it's wonderful. I always like to share some fun tweaks you can make to a lesson. So for the tie-dye bunting, you can make it as long as you want, or you can take a coffee filter that's folded after it's all done with the tie-dye and cut along the crease any shapes you want to make a mini bunting. And I thought it would be really fun if you were to make a mini bunting, you could put it in the mail to a friend so they would have a fun, colorful, and joyful surprise. Another thing I like to do If you used the paper as your background, you can use that, all the pieces. I cut them up into 4x4 or 6x6 pieces of paper, and I make origami with them. So it's really fun. You might choose to make something else, but if you look on YouTube, there's all sorts of wonderful origami instructions. If you want to show us what you made today, please tag us at Arts for Life NC. And remember, art is for everyone.